Hillary Clinton heads into the race with the advantage, but just days before this happened.
You owe black people an apology. Well, that's an inappropriate. If you will give me a chance to talk, I'll approach your subject. You know what? Nobody's ever asked me before. You're the first person to ask me, and I'm happy to address it, but you are the first person to ask me, dear.
A young protester named Ashley Williams confronted Hillary Clinton over the words she used more than 20 years ago when she was advocating for a landmark crime bill, which was signed by her husband, then President Bill Clinton. Here's what Clinton said at the time.
We need to take these people on. They are often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
Ashley Williams joins me now from Charlotte, North Carolina. Ashley, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Tamron.
Let's just, before we talk about the moment itself, I'll talk about just quickly here some of the backlash. I can't tell you how many supporters of Hillary Clinton have sent me pictures of you with Cornel West, who've claimed that you're an operative, you are this, you're that, you're working on the behalf of the Sanders campaign and all kinds of others. Were you sent there on behalf of any campaign?
No, Tamron, and I think it's kind of insulting that me as a young black voter can't have enough agency and ideas of my own to bring forth concerns that I have that come from my own community.
And so tell me how you were able to get into this event and really, what was your message? What did you want to hear from Secretary Clinton?
I got into the event just like anyone else who attended. There were paid tickets. I wanted Hillary to apologize to black people for mass incarceration. I wanted to hear from her. I wanted her to acknowledge that she understands the ways in which the policies that she supported are the reasons why people's sons, daughters, mothers, and coworkers are removed from communities. And I wanted her to understand that we're still feeling those things today.
And Hillary Clinton responded later saying, looking back, I should not have used those words. I would not use them today. You have others who say, listen, you're taking on Hillary Clinton, but what about the fire with Bernie Sanders, who also supported crime bills, who also has a shaky record when it comes to gun legislation, which we know plagues America, but also urban communities as well. Have you focused your attention as well on Senator Sanders?
Tamron, let's be honest here. So if it wasn't for organizers and activists on behalf of the movement for Black Lives, none of these candidates would have legitimate racial justice platforms. So I think that it's important to remember that, you know, the movement for Black Lives and organizers and activists around the country and around the world have been advocating for people to look at these records, have been advocating for people to critically engage these candidates. And so that's why the action was so important. I wanted Hillary Clinton to explain her own words.
I want to play what Bill Maher said on his HBO program last night regarding what he sees as the bigger picture here. Let's play it.
Does this person realize that Donald Trump in South Carolina, 20% of the voters who voted for Donald Trump disagree with the Emancipation Proclamation?
Right.
And this is who you're going after? This is where we start the battle, you idiots.
No.
People need to learn the difference between an imperfect friend and a deadly enemy.
No doubt.
You want to tear Hillary Clinton down? Great.
No.
Then enjoy President Trump.
Let me get you to respond to that, Ashley.
Tamron, I'd just like to say that you know, we have been working really hard to press all of these candidates on these things, and actions like these are so important. A guest that you had previously on the show mentioned that she was excited that young people were getting engaged and excited. But not only are young people getting engaged and excited, we're taking a critical look. So it's not enough to just be excited about what's going on, but it's time for us to look critically at these records and at the things that candidates have not only said, but policies that they've supported. And I think that that's why the action was so important on Wednesday.
We're almost out of time, but to the heart of what Bill Maher, I think, was trying to say here is that somehow going after Hillary Clinton enables and empowers a Donald Trump potentially in a general election. Do you see that as equivalent at all in any way?
No, I think that what's important to remember here is that we need to be engaged critically. And sometimes that means going after people's records and things that they've said.
Which is an excellent point here, is as if to say from his comments that you cannot take on the record of Hillary Clinton or any Democrat for fear of perhaps the more menacing, the more evil candidate, if that's how you see Donald Trump getting in. Going back again to this argument that somehow you cannot challenge her, does that in any way impact how you will continue forward? Will you continue to challenge Hillary Clinton? Will you try to get into other events? Are you backing off in any way?
Tamron, we cannot continue to pretend that Hillary Clinton wasn't involved in laying the foundation for mass incarceration in our society. So in that sense, I'm going to continue to hold her accountable. I'm going to continue to ask for an apology on behalf of Black communities and other communities of color for mass incarceration.
What about Bernie Sanders? Again, going back to the crime bill and Bernie Sanders and where he has stood. Right now, he's not making any inroads with African-American voters. Hillary Clinton says he's a single-issue candidate here because he cannot bring the message of income equality on a larger level that relates to people who are Black and brown. How do you hold Bernie Sanders' feet to the fire as well? They're both looking for the Democratic nomination, which means they are looking for your vote. They are looking for the Black vote.
Tamron, I mentioned before that it's because of the work of the Movement for Black Lives that any of these candidates have a racial justice platform that we can think about today. And so I'd like to just remember those actions and remember those organizers who are holding all candidates' feet to the fire. And we've seen that last year and this year, too.
All right, Ashley, thank you so much for joining us. Great pleasure having you on. I know that you've been the focus of a lot of attacks, and you are standing your ground and making your voice heard, whether they like it or not.
Thanks for having me.
And that does it.